So good day, everyone. And I hope you are all okay. I'm here to present and discuss my part on Module 6 on the topic social mobilization. I am Antonio E. Etrata Jr. I am a DRDM student. So I will be discussing the following: political sector, governmental sector, and the collaboration between political and governmental sectors in the context of social mobilization. But before we deep dive on the political sector and governmental sector, allow me to present first, just to provide context, a definition of social mobilization by UNICEF 2023 in 2023. According to UNICEF, social mobilization involves coordinated actions that engage all relevant stakeholders to create an enabling environment for behavioral and social change. The social mobilization actually is a process of engaging different sectors of the society to work collectively toward a shared development goal. It encourages the participation from political leaders, government institutions, civil society organizations, and communities to promote social change and improve public welfare. So, in social mobilization, the political and governmental sectors play a crucial role because they provide leadership, policy direction, institutional support, and program implementation. So these actions often work together to mobilize communities and resources for development initiatives according to World Health Organization 2001. So we begin with political sector. So political sector includes our elected officials, our legislators, our political leaders who influence decision making at the national and local level. So essentially, as presented here, the role in social mobilization involves the following: developing policies, advocating for social issues, and ensuring that programs receive political and financial support. So policymakers are often the favorite target of advocacy efforts because of their commitment. Their commitment can facilitate the implementation of social programs and remove barriers to action. So political leaders can mobilize public support by prioritizing issues such as, but not limited to, health, education, and poverty reduction in government agendas or government initiatives. They also influence legislation and national development plans that guide the work of government agencies and partner organizations. So to better understand how this sector works or how important this sector is in social mobilization, let's have an example. Public health policies for vaccination campaigns. So we have a lot, of campaigns, vaccination campaigns implemented by the government. But this requires support from our political leaders insofar as policy development is concerned, funding, and the like. So political leaders often support nationwide immunization campaigns by passing health policies and allocating funding for vaccines and healthcare services. So if our government, for example, the Department of Health would like to implement vaccination programs on a nationwide scale, the political sector has to support this initiative because policy will come from them and funding will come from not the fund actually, but funding mechanism will surely pass through our legislators. The second part is governmental sector. So this sector consists of departments, different departments of the government, public agencies, our cabinet secretaries who are responsible for implementing policies and delivering services. So going back to the political sector, they're into policy formulation, they're into that kind of work. And the government sector now is in charge in implementing these policies and eventually delivering the services. So while political leaders set the direction, it is the duty of the different government institutions to translate these policies into programs that directly benefit communities. So government agencies, as highlighted here, are responsible for planning, coordinating, and managing development programs. So they also provide technical expertise, monitoring systems, and infrastructure necessary for implementing social mobilization initiatives. So this is according to Zanner et al. 2014 and the National Academies of Sciences and Engineering and Medicine 2017. So let's have an example. Education mobilization program. So if we have time, I think we can Google a lot of projects and programs of the government with respect to education. So government agencies like we have the Department of Education, we have the Commission on Higher Education, and the Technical Education Skills and Development Authority. So these are government agencies responsible for education, also would use social mobilization strategies to increase school participation and improve access to education. But of course, we really have to take into account the collaboration between political and governmental sectors. Although we mentioned earlier, in the political sector, they draft policies, they write policies, they write laws, but the government sector would now implement all of these policies that were approved by the other sector. So there's actually a very good collaboration between these two sectors. So effective social mobilization requires collaboration between political leaders and government institutions. I think this is one way really, to better explain how these two sectors can work together hand in hand to make government programs or government initiatives come to fruition and would be felt by sectors of the society that are really in need of government programs to uplift their lives. So political actors provide the vision, policies, and funding necessary for development initiatives, while government agencies like the Department of Health, the Department of Education, and some other instrumentalities of the government would handle the operational aspects such as planning, implementation, and monitoring programs. So I'll have here two examples. The one town, one product, or we call it the OTOP. So the one town, one product initiative is a development program that encourages communities to develop unique local products. So how collaboration happens here? Political leaders introduce development programs to stimulate economic growth. The Department of Trade and Industry and other government agencies provide funding, training, and marketing support. Local governments and communities identify products that are unique to their region. So the program promotes local entrepreneurship and small businesses, helping towns create competitive local products and generate employment. So example, a municipality might specialize in a particular product like handicrafts, local food products, textiles, tourism services. Like in my hometown in Binalonan, Pangasinan, we specialize on local food products like our very own longganisa or Binalonan longganisa. So the other example is the 4Ps or Pantawid Pamilyang Filipino program. So there's a need for a law to have this um, implemented by the Department of Social Welfare and Development. And that law came from the political sector, not the political side. And the implementation is care of a government unit, in particular the Department of Social Welfare and Development. So one major example, another major example is the Pantawid Pamilyang Filipino Program, or more popularly known as 4Ps, a national poverty reduction program implemented by the the Department of Social Welfare and Development. So how collaboration happens here? Political leaders, Congress, and the President create and approve laws that fund and institutionalize the program. So government agencies implement the policy and distribute assistance to citizens to qualified, let me put a qualifier there, a word there, qualified citizens and local government units, or our LGUs, municipality cities, help identify eligible beneficiaries and monitor compliance. So for example, in 2019, according to a report in 2024, the Philippine Congress passed a law institutionalizing the program, and it was signed by then former President Duterte as RA 113310, making the program a permanent government initiative. So, of course, the impact, it reduced the poverty level in the country. So for our discussion points, there are two questions that I'd like to raise. One, what are, no, we've seen the beauty of collaboration between political and government sectors, but of course, there could be disadvantages. So what are the possible disadvantages of political and governmental collaboration? We cite three and explain, and how can this be mitigated or avoided? For question number two, and explain briefly.